That might lay the groundwork to be published in print media, in a book, because books, like in bookstores, are still a multi-billion-dollar industry. People read printed books about exercise and nutrition. So that could be a long-term goal with your fitness writing. Get your body for life, get your starting strength out there. Hi, everybody. How are you? It's Chris and Shane, the Right Spotters here. We're back again today, and we're going to talk about some of the most common myths about fitness writing and the fitness writing industry, and some misconceptions that people just mistakenly believe or presume about fitness writing. Writing, if you're a trainer, you want to clarify some issues. We're going to go over a couple of things. The first and biggest one is going to be a lot of people think writing in the fitness field is not a thing anymore. Like, you don't need to write. We'll get to that in a second. We also want to cover like the skill of writing itself. Like, either you have it or you don't. You're a good writer or you're not, which is not true. Like any skill, you can always develop it. So to spin back, the first and biggest thing, right? Fitness writing is a valid source and avenue to share your message, to share your training content, your information, your knowledge. You can write about it. You don't have to do video content. You don't have to jump on Instagram Live. You don't have to do TikToks and YouTubes or whatever. Those are also useful, but you don't dismiss writing just because maybe you don't read a lot of fitness content because you don't have time, which is fine. Maybe you think people don't read fitness content, which is not true. Anybody can read. Anybody who can read your information. If you post a video, you're only going to reach people who watch videos online. So by writing it out either on your blog or on your social media or for a publication, you have a much larger opportunity to spread awareness of you and your business and your knowledge and information with the widest possible reach. Another thing that people overlook with fitness writing is it's an income source, right? You can get paid to write articles for websites. You can write an ebook for yourself and sell it for $5, $10, whatever. So if you have ever signed up for an affiliate link for supplements or for Gymshark or for whatever, if you're an affiliate salesperson and you're hoping to make some passive income from affiliate sales, you don't get to say, I don't need to write, because you can write an ebook once and sell it forever. That's passive income. That's a couple $100 a month for little to no work. So if you're okay saying no to that, good on you. But it's a passive income source. It's money in your pocket by building your fitness writing. Shane, what's your take on writing in general and the need for writing?
Well, I think I want to circle back to one of our clients, Shane Dowd, who has 45,000 YouTube subscribers. So his videos are very highly produced and get lots of views and lots of likes. He writes a script for those videos, so he doesn't fly off the seat of his pants when he does those videos. I mean, they're scripted. He needs to write them. So even with, say, because video rules these days and Instagram reels and all that kind of stuff, all those highly produced Instagram reels, YouTube videos, they're all scripted. They got somebody, they either write them themselves or they get somebody else to write them. So in that respect, even with visual content, there's written words involved, right? So the fact that you don't think writing is even a thing is just, well, it's not true.
Great point.
Right?
Yep.
Because there is words behind the content. And I think, you make a valid point with ebooks and stuff like that. I think even if you're trying to write a social media post or an ebook or whatever, the biggest turnoff is bad writing. It's just like bang, if you spell a word wrong, if you it's in grammar, if, you know, you've got some grammar mistakes or whatever. If you're not being clear in what you're writing, then the message is lost, right? So just like, you know, albums are making a comeback in the age of the digital world, you know, writing's always going to be a thing. And no, and I've spoken about this before. What writing does, good writing does, when you do it often, it helps clarify your thoughts, right? And you start making connections between your coaching and what you're putting down on paper, and that whole thing is great. So as far as I'm concerned, I mean, writing will never die. I love even just to pick up. I mean, I love reading books, picking up in my hand and feel. I can't listen to a book. I have to pick it up.
Yeah.
I have to read it. So I think, like anything, good writing will never die.
I think you also raised a good point, is that bad writing or clunky writing or writing that does need some polish, either with grammatical errors or things like that, that can be a turnoff. That can sour a reader's impression of your information. Like if you go to a restaurant and it's great food, but the floor is dirty or the utensils are dirty.
Yeah, right.
It's a turnoff. I don't want to come back here. I don't want to, you know, pay this person money and be around. I want to get out. I don't want to come back. So clunky writing can really negatively affect people's perception of you and your skill level, regardless of how great a coach you are. You could know your shit inside and out. You could be a fantastic coach, but if you present your information poorly, just like if you get on video and you're in tattered clothes and a 7-day scrub, like it doesn't matter really what you're saying. Very few people can overlook that first impression to get your information. So polished up writing, clear, crisp, clean writing only emphasizes your knowledge base. Yeah.
And I was going to say, don't think AI can do it for you, because I know it can, but it can't really.
That's a can of worms. I'm sure we'll get to that another time.
We're not. Yeah, we're not going to get into it. But I'm just that what I'm trying to say is that there's no way around getting around that skill of writing. I mean, you can do that, but it's lazy, right? So that's just saying, oh yeah, but I can get AI to do it for me. It's like, yeah, you can, but you can tell, right? And two, it takes away your ability to just express yourself clearly. I mean, there's no way. What we're trying to say here, particularly with this myth, is there's no way around not writing. Particularly if you're a coach and you want to get more clients and you're writing social media posts and ebooks and whatever. It's not about making money and being published and getting your name out there. It's just being clear in your message. And to be clear in your message, if you're going to present to the world, you're going to present on social media, you're going to write an ebook, good writing is important. And AI can't do it all for you.
Exactly true. And that actually ties into our next point, is that some coaches think like, I'm not a writer. I hated English class. I don't know how to write. So forget it. I'm just going to do video. Or I don't need to bother with it because I know I'm not a good writer. Writing is a skill. You can develop any skill with some practice. Nobody's a born trainer. Nobody's a born dietitian. You decide to improve your skill level, and then you get really good at it, or you get okay at it. You know, nobody's born a great cook, a great chef, a great athlete. Well, athlete maybe.
Yeah.
But writing is a skill. If you're not great at it and you want to be, then work at it. You do that in every avenue of your life. You do it professionally as a trainer. If you don't know kettlebells, you seek out experts and you study some kettlebells. If you don't know mobility drills, you contact Shane Dowd at Got Rom or Kelly Starrett, and you learn mobility drills. to add them to your toolbox. Writing is the exact same thing. So if you're aware enough that writing and grammar and English and all the little technical stuff is a weak point for you, don't be dissuaded. Don't throw the whole field out, the whole baby with the bathwater. Like, make the decision to work on it. A little bit of practice once a week, couple of days a week. It's a developable. It's a skill you can develop.
Make up a word. Did you just make up a word?
I'm allowed. I'm a professional writer and editor. I can make up words, guys. It's a skill you can develop. That's the whole point, right? Is that, like, I don't know. I remember I was maybe like 9 years old writing like short stories about zombies that attacked some birthday party. And I basically stole Night of the Demons plot movie. It's an amazing movie. But I was like 9 years old writing short stories. They weren't great, I'm sure. But like, I was young and I wrote, and I've always been interested in writing. What's your take on writing? How'd you get into it?
Oh, this is where you open a can of worms with me. So I'm going to try and keep this short. So I failed English at high school. Right. I didn't like English. I didn't like reading. And now I write partially for a living. So my story of not being born a great writer and being a half decent at it, I'm living proof, right? I get regularly praised for my writing, and I really, really try not to let it go to my head, because, it's not good when you get ahead of yourself. But I mean, when it came to writing, I started at the bottom, right? And now I'm kind of near the top. So I'm basically living proof that you don't have to be born a great writer to write. And I could talk this for hours and nobody would want to listen to me anyway. But my main piece of advice for people who don't think they're great writers but want to write is that you have a passion for fitness, right? And all you have to do is write about that passion, right? The skill that comes with writing will come with practice. But the passion you have for fitness and the passion you have for exercise and the passion you have to get your word out there will drive you forward when it comes to writing. It has with me, in my experience. And if you're like sitting on the fence thinking, well, I'm not a good writer, but I really, really like fitness, but I really want to write, do it. Harness that passion. The skill of the written word will come, right? My wife still has PTSD from editing my early work because it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And even though when I see old articles of mine on the internet, they make me cringe because they're not great. You will develop that skill. It really does come with time. But the basis of it is passion, right? Your passion for fitness, your passion for exercise, your passion to get your word out there will always drive you forward if you're really serious about being a writer.
I love that. I love that underlying kind of fire, like that. It has to come from that. Like, you can't fake that AI. Like, that's an amazing point. I love that. Which also, that'll tie into, like, if you don't know what to write about your training, your hands-on training, write about your client's work, write about what you know. If you don't know how to phrase something, imagine you're talking to a client. How would you coach them through a front squat? How would you explain high protein, low fat foods? If you're sitting down with a consultation, that will also help you navigate, like, I don't know how to write, but you know how to talk to a client, to somebody who needs your information. It's the same thing. Write like you talk, we say 1,000 times.
Yeah. That's true. So I think the overarching message in there is, if you want to do it, do it. Develop your just use your passion. The skill will come.
Definitely. Perfect.
Do you
And
think LeBron James was good the first time he dribbled the basketball? Probably not. Right? He might have had a leg up when it came to athletic potential, right? But you think LeBron James dribbled the basketball great? You think a baby, when it got up and it stood up for the first time, started running?
they fall a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
it skill doesn't matter what skill you are trying to develop. It all takes time.
Oh, it does.
Right?
And also you can always,
some of us are really better at it than others, right? And some of us have a shorter learning curve, and some will get there faster, right? But time and passion are your two greatest assets.
absolutely. And you can always improve. You can always improve. That's the thing. If you're not a great writer, you can become a good writer. If you're a good writer, you can become a better writer, right? That's kind of the great thing with any skill. You can always improve it. There's no master writers. There's no master trainers necessarily. Like there's always a hole in the game that can be plugged. Some trainers like work around. Like you can be an amazing Olympic level weightlifting coach. But if you don't know kettlebells, maybe it's not a big deal, but there's a gap in your knowledge base. It doesn't affect you necessarily. Whatever. I'm sidetracked.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of writing, you can always improve your level. Doesn't matter how good you are. And polishing up a little bit better and getting a little bit better as a writer will only help you overall. It'll make your writing more clear. It'll make it more entertaining. It'll make it better for the algorithm so it spreads farther. If you're writing to be published, it'll make it easier for your editors to work with, so they'll be more likely to work with you. So that improves the business side of it. So you get published more, and that helps spread you even farther. That might lay the groundwork to be published in print media, in a book, because books, like in bookstores, are still a multi-billion-dollar industry. People read printed books about exercise and nutrition. So that could be a long-term goal with your fitness writing. You know, get your body for life, get your starting strength out there. You know, people read about diet and exercise. They buy books about that. So by becoming a better writer, no matter how good a writer you are right now, it will only be a benefit. You know, like as an editor, I still have things I have to Google to double check, like fucking semicolons. You're not gonna get it, I know, but so like there's always something that you can improve. Just like in the gym, just like with your diet, you could always improve your diet a little bit, unfortunately. Right?
What you're trying to say is you can dial things in.
You can always dial things in, and it'll always be an advantage. It'll always be worth it. Yeah? You think? Like,
I think that basically leads into our next point about thinking you're too good for coaches.
exactly. Yes. Like everybody could use a coach in any avenue, whether you're a professional athlete. Again, LeBron James has a strength and conditioning coach that puts out some questionable material. He has
I saw that.
Yeah. But he has a literal coach on the sidelines telling him what plays to run. So every top performing athlete has somebody guiding them. And this kind of gets into the whole, you know, if you can't do, then you coach. No, that's stupid and ignorant. Like coaches know more than the people they're coaching, if they're good coaches.
That's true.
Okay, like the top performing powerlifters still have coaches. Louis Simmons coached plenty of guys that were stronger than him, but he knew so much more than them, and he made them better, right? So it's just, you're a coach. We're personal trainers. We're coaches. So we know the value of turning to an expert and saying, can you help me? Right. Would you say it's that simple, or am I?
No. Well, I've worked for lots of editors, you included, and like you just swap out the word editor as coach. Let's just use those. Basically, we could use those two interchangeably. I always ask for feedback. I think feedback is your greatest asset. So even if you're a beginning writer, and we obviously here at the Right Spotters have a free service where you can send us anything and we'll give you an opinion for free. I always constantly ask for feedback. And the worst thing they can say is no. That's the worst thing they can say. No, I'm not going to do it. Usually you'll get feedback, even if it's just your family, even if your family doesn't have any interest. But I think the beauty of asking for feedback and being open towards it is always an ongoing process. Always. And that's basically what we do here at the Right Spotters, is that, a lot of the coaches that have hired us to do their stuff are good writers in their own right. Right? We don't have to teach them how to write, but they're still willing to be open to feedback to improve what they have already on paper. And these coaches are great and making great money and are well known, but they are still open to the fact that we can get better if we hire Chris and Shane. It's an old adage, is like having a second pair of eyes always helps, because a lawyer who has himself for a client is a fool, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same with us. I mean, you could be a great writer. You could be making money from fitness writing, but there's always room for improvement. The thinking that you're at the top and you don't need to improve and you're doing great, it could be true, but having that kind of fixed mindset doesn't do you any good, right? Not meaning to blow my own horn, but I mean, I'm always open to feedback, right? I don't think I'm the complete package at all. I still struggle with certain things when it comes to certain aspects of writing. I still get my asshole ripped open on a regular basis, right? I think being open to coaching and being open to feedback will always improve you as a writer.
Of course it will. And again, that translates, that carries over to any facet of what you want to do. Like if you want to get better as a fill in the blank, find somebody who knows more about it than you and ask them for help. That's it. Like it applies to everything you want to do. We're talking about fitness writing particularly because we have experience. We have so much experience between the two of us with this specific industry and this specific skill set. And that's what we do. We help trainers write more good. So
we do. So, I mean, if those three biggest myths that we've discussed are holding you back, don't let them. Watch this video, practice the art of writing, develop your passion, and if you need help, we're here.
I think that sums it up great. So just be aware that you need to be writing. Don't worry if you're not a great writer right now. And if you are a good writer, appreciate the fact that you can become a better writer. You can always become a better writer. So just reach out, send us a message at therightspotters@gmail.com or on social at therightspotters.
We're everywhere, baby.
We're pretty much everywhere.
Pretty much everywhere.
And so just send out, work on your writing, build your skill set, develop your business, make a little more money, help more people with your information and your knowledge. And send us a message. We'll help you do all of that. Sound good?
Perfect.
All right.
Thanks, Chris.
We will catch you guys later.